travelled in with Dino for a long time now, so we've got a good little car school. Jerome's joining, isn't he?
Yeah, Jerome's Salu's joining. He would have joined today, but
someone
nicked his seat.
Took the spot in the back.
Oh, nice. Sorry, Jerome. However you're getting there, I hope you're getting there well and you're going to get there nice and rested.
I'd rather have you in the back. So it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, like, so we've travelled in with each other for a while now.
Yeah.
So it's nice. You know what I mean? And I sort of prefer, like, listen, I've been lucky enough to have played full time, and I actually prefer driving to the game myself than getting in a coach, oddly enough. I actually prefer it. It's good on the coach, I suppose, because all the boys are together and you can have a bit of banter and whatever, but unless it's like a 4-hour, 5-hour journey, like these sort of journeys, 2 hours or whatever, I prefer it really. Personal preference, but
you can do your own thing in the morning, make your own way on your time, and
stop when you want to stop and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I do actually prefer it.
So you two guys, did you guys meet at Billericay, or was that?
Yeah, well, funny enough, when I'd signed for Billericay, I hadn't even met you yet, and I'd messaged you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Because one of our mutual friends, he texted me saying, "Oh, Alan Julian's local. You got a car school." So I was like, "Oh, buzzing." I was in the group chat, like Glenn put me in with the Billericay players, so I got his number. I just messaged him, and he literally lives about 7 minutes from my work. So yeah, we ended up just in the car school going there, and we used to meet a couple of other boys at 21A, and then that was it.
And that's quite a drive, isn't it, to Billericay as well? Because it's not just for match days, it's for training as well, isn't it?
Training was the one, to be fair. So we would train on a Tuesday and a Thursday night, and training would start at, I don't know what, 7 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, wasn't it, Chapel?
But we'd have to leave at like 4, because the traffic on the M25 at that time was mad. Do you know what I mean?
Because we couldn't leave at 6 because you'd be late.
No chance.
If you left at like 5, you'd be like too early. So we had to leave at 4, knowing we're going to sit in traffic and just suck it up, basically.
like 3-hour journey every Tuesday.
Just lived out the services, didn't we?
But yeah, it was good. It was good.
You obviously take it in turns, or you're.
Well, we try. That's really what should happen, Seb. But do you know what I mean? Sometimes, to be fair, I own a few drives. Actually, he's got me out of trouble. So we've only got one car at the moment. Me and him have only got one car. So he's done me a few. Like my little boy plays football and whatever. So the missus has needed this car to take Alfie football. So I own a few now. So I've drawn a short straw Concord away.
But no doubt I'll have Bath away because the Jules will work.
No, we get Jerome.
Yeah, we'll get Jerome. If you're listening, Jerome, you've got Bath away.
Exactly. Although Bath away might well be on a Tuesday if one of us progresses in the FA Cup. So yeah, but so yeah, obviously you met at Billericay, and so you've got endless car journeys. So and then Dean, you obviously moved to Hampton and Richmond. Why did it take so long to convince Jules to come over?
Well, funny enough, it was when I went from Billericay to Kingstonian.
Oh, you did.
And then Gary rang me after that season, and I was thinking, well, I knew Jules wouldn't leave because he had so long left on his contract, and it was actually, at the time, it was okay. It weren't really like too much like mentally draining for him. And then Gaffer had the season after Gaffer had done like the summer camp, and I was just chatting to Jules. And I said, get involved, like, come on, get involved, come down. And obviously he loved it here, and he had to follow me back to Hunt. That's him.
So Jules, Dean mentioned it was mentally draining. So you're doing that Tuesday and Thursday and every game, and then obviously away games. It is, as well as the physical side of things, it can be quite hard to be a non-league footballer as well, because you've also got jobs as well.
Well, for me, I mean, at my age and with my family and all that kind of stuff, it was definitely easier to get somewhere more local. But having said that, whatever the club, most of my career I've travelled miles to play. Like Newport, I played for them, lived in the same place. You know what I mean? Gillingham, Bromley, Stevenage, all far away clubs. Billericay was no different really. But just when with all due respect, but it just got to a point at Billericay where I just felt. The 3 years I spent there, it was a crazy time. It was a crazy time. It was, again, what I've said, it was far away from home, and I just felt I needed a new challenge, a new start, a fresh start. Do you know what I mean? And believe it or not, I've said this before, but Hampton's a club that is 10 minutes from my house, and every time I played there, I thought I'd love to play here. Nice club, nice people, close, just brilliant. Dino's here. obviously I played against the gaffer a few times, always had little brief chats with him, come across as a really good guy, really good manager. So when the opportunity come about, I just thought, I've got to try my best to make this happen. And lucky enough it did. And I honestly not sure if I'd still be playing football today if it weren't for the club, to be fair. But now I want to play for the next 5 years. I don't know how long I'm going to go for, but it's just I just love it. You know what I mean? I really enjoy my time here. So long may it continue. Long may it continue. Try my best.
So who's in charge of the music when you're going, or you just?
We don't really have.
I don't get a chance to listen to it. You don't shut up. He just keeps talking.
I'm always listening to him about his fantasy Premier League, trying to explain him the rules. So.
I don't like losing, Seb. I don't like losing. I just make excuses.
He already owes me and Jake and Nando's for last season. We're still waiting for payment on that. He keeps being a bit. He's got his hands far away from his pockets when it comes to that Nando's. Now, to be fair, it's just a timing that we haven't really had a chance to go and get it. But yesterday, Jake messaged it because we've got a group chat with me, Jules and Jake, about fantasy with the Nando's bet at the end of the year. And Jake went 99 messages with laughing faces. And that 99 messages was basically me just trying to explain Jules to the rules. And because he's I think he's about 35th in the league or somewhere right down the bottom at the minute.
Early days though.
He sulks, Seb. He gets the and he even went to the extremes of sabotaging his son's fantasy Premier League team as well. Told him to take 2 players out. Said, no, Alfie, they're not going to play. They're not going to be good enough. He cost the boy 25 points in the first game week. So we've been trying to get justice for Alfie ever since. Justice for Alfie.
My wife's joined in. I think she got 1 point extra than me last week, didn't she? So, yeah. So it'll be a bit of fun in the Julian household on a Saturday stroke Sunday evening when they've beat me. Yeah.
And I suppose, with no music then, I suppose, do you try and switch off from football in the journey to there, or is it always hard, you got it in your mind, or you'll talk about who we're playing, previous encounters, or?
Do you know what, I think, whatever sort of, we'll have a little chat about the game, the ground, the players we're playing against. That comes up, but also we'll talk about completely random things, you know, whatever pops up really. I think, we do talk about football quite a bit, don't we?
Yeah.
To be fair. So, you know, some players I've played with don't even like football. Do you know what I mean? And I love it. So when I'm in the car with someone like that, it's you know, but to be fair, we both love our football, so we can probably talk about that 70% of the time really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I will, you know, I remember you've heard this story said, but when we was on the way to Billericay game, I said to Dino, don't pass me the ball back in the middle of the goal. It's a bobbly pitch tonight, don't pass the ball back in the middle of the goal. And he's like, yeah, George, yeah. So I must have said this to him 4 or 5 times in the car. I said it to him in the dressing room. First minute of the game, he passes me the ball straight down the middle of the goal, bobbling all over the place. I won't repeat what I said to him on the night.
I've always said to Jules, he scares me on the pitch. He just scares me. Because I've known him for so long. I know he's a big cuddly teddy bear off the pitch,
100%.
but on the pitch he goes into like animal mode. And even on the training ground last night, Jerome got the wrath of him. And he scares me. So it's safe to say I've never passed in the ball back through the centre of the goal after that ever again. I'd rather give it out for a corner, Seb, than actually hit that in the middle of the pitch.
It's all love, though, man.
No, exactly.
But it's all that wanting to win. I mean, everyone that we come across, we've got that. We want to win so bad that if he is gonna F and blind at me on the pitch, I don't take it personally. I know it's just that in that moment I've done something that weren't good enough, or that's wrong, and I know it'll be on me to. And I think you've got to set them standards amongst yourself, and you've got to be able to be mature enough to not sulk about it in the changing room and not, I'm never talking to him again because he shouted at me. But you've got to just be able to kind of compartmentalise your brain. It's just because of that moment, not because you don't like me as a person.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's where a lot of players go wrong. They take things personally on the pitch and they carry it off the pitch. I've played with some players that have done that and they end up having a bit of animosity off the pitch about it, but I don't think that's the right way to go. I think you've got to demand them standards to want to be successful.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and obviously, so he did talk to you on the way back then on that night then, but yeah.
Yeah, I said sorry.
Yeah.
when you know, me being me and Seb, you've seen me play enough games now without crowd there, so you would have heard a lot more of what comes out of my mouth. But you know, we all make mistakes, we all mess up, no problem. Do you know what I mean? I just demand of myself and the people around me the highest possible standards. You know, I'm not going to ask somebody to do something that I wouldn't do myself. Do you know what I mean? It's just things like that, really. I wouldn't demand Jerome to get the ball, beat 5 players and stick it in the top corner today, like Lionel Messi. If he does that, great. But I just demand hard work, attention, you know, basic things, really. And within 30 seconds of me having a go at someone like that, if they do something well, I'm the first one to tell them well done. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's all it is. It's just demanding high standards of myself and people around me. That's all it is, really. I just want to win. Just want to win. And as you get older, the opportunities for success become less. So why would I hold in anything that could potentially help us as a club? Why would I hold that in? You know what I mean? I want to give everything I possibly can. So
it reminds me of that Mourinho story of Balotelli, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Balotelli got booked in the first half. Mourinho spent 14 of the 15 minutes at half time saying, don't do anything silly, don't get booked, I won't, boss, I won't. 46th minute, dived into a tackle, got sent off.
Yeah, exactly. But do you think that's what makes this team a little bit different? You know, certainly from the teams I've seen at Hampton and Richmond. You know, you've got yourself, you've got your Charlies, you've got your Sam Coxes. You know, I could just reel them all off. Really, and Dean, you know, yourself. You're not going to settle for second best.
No, I mean
the manager, that comes to the manager as well, of course.
Yeah,
and that's also, I think, part of the boys understanding. You know, I can only talk about me because but understanding me as a person. Like, I'm not having to go at them because I don't like them. I'm having to go at them because I want to win, and that's it. When they understand that, I think everyone accepts it. And they're not always going to agree with me, and they'll have a go back, and that's fine. Like, it's not no problem. Sometimes they'll have a little row. You saw me and Charlie have a row start of the season on the pitch, you know, and these things happen, and no problem whatsoever.
And you can look around, like the names you reeled off there. You look around in our squad. We've actually got a lot of players that have been successful, won trophies and won playoffs in these levels, so they know what it takes. And I think Gaffer said it the other week, but to the players that haven't, draw from the boys that have, because that's what it takes to win. Like, realise that that's what it takes to win, and that's what you need. You need them mentalities in your team, because I think getting your first promotion or your first title is hard. But once you've done it once, you know what you've got to do. You know the fine margins it can be. So you can bring that into the next few seasons, and hopefully, kind of, it resonates off with the other boys.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, both of you have obviously got promoted. How many times have you got promoted, Dean?
2.
And Jules, how many times have you got promoted?
4.
So yeah, and I think I remember talking to one of the lads last year, the other players, and I know we obviously didn't get to finish last season, but you said you could sense that there was something brewing, couldn't you? And you were reminding players, but that's what comes from winning leagues and getting promoted before. That comes from that, doesn't it? That experience. Yeah,
it does. I mean, you sort of remember going back through your career, players that guided me. You know, and there's players that guided me in those moments and helped me achieve what they had achieved, and you sort of remember that, what we did at certain times. And like this weekend for me is an important one, because you've got Saturday, Monday. You know, over Christmas time is an important one, because you play a lot of games. You can go from 7th in the league to 2nd in the space of a week. You know, they're important times, really, because in between games, at Christmas time's a great example. You know, there's temptation to go out, have a drink with the family, eat what you want to eat, late nights, whatever. Okay, you play a game, you rest up, you recover, you do the right things. Come the next game, which is 48 hours later possibly, you've got 10-15% extra energy than the player that went out and had a few beers, for example. And I just think if you do the right things, you know, I'm not saying if you go to bed on time and eat the right food, you're going to win the game. I'm not saying that, but it definitely 100% gives you a better opportunity to do that. And it's just reminding people, you know, like I watched something the other day on Sky about Tony Adams when Arsenal won the league, and they were in about it at Christmas time, and he had a team meeting. And he just said, "Right, boys, we've got now to the end of the month, to the end of the season. This is it now. We live football. You've got no life. Forget about your life. We live football, because after 5 months, it'll be worth it." And that's something you can remember for the rest of your lives. And yes, I've never won the Premier League, I never will. But them promotions, Seb, like honestly, mate, like I'm so proud of them. Do you know what I mean? They're nice things to look back on, and the lads I shared them with. Like I've won something with Dino. Do you know what I mean? We had a good season together, and it's something that we can always talk about. We always bring that up in conversation. Do you know what I mean? And it's
that
nice
treble year was fantastic, wasn't it?
And honestly, like the lads that haven't done it, I really do try to make them try and feel what it could be like to achieve something, because no one can ever take that away from you then. You know what I mean? It's good moments. It's good moments.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose, you know, look, we've mentioned it a few times, and Gary's mentioned it right from the start. You know, it would be a nice, if you're going to do it in any season, I suppose the centenary season would be good. But does it also make a difference? You know that. And I know, you know, I'm not, you know, not going to say this just because I'm sat here, but it is. You know, you've said it before, Jules. It is a lovely club, isn't it? There's a lot of great people on and off the pitch that, you know, we all want to achieve success, and we all want to make that difference. And just anything that we can all help you guys to win it, is what we're going to do.
It is. To be fair, the club's brilliant, like with the volunteers and like the people like yourselves, and bringing kind of, when I was here when I was 16. It's come on as a club so much, and it would be lovely, because obviously I went away, won a couple of promotions. It would be lovely to come back round full circle at the age of 30 and be able to do it for Hampton, especially in the centenary year. It would be amazing.
Picturesque. You know what, man? Like on that thing, like doing my bits at the club now, Seb. You actually see things that you never even thought of. Like you're seeing people paint. I don't know, like go around the ground doing things. You know, you just think so much goes into a football club that I never really even appreciated.
The people on the terraces on the Saturday.
Do you know what I mean?
Think about
and you just think like everyone really does care about the club. You know what I mean? They're not just there for. You know, they really do care enough to think for us to achieve. It's going to be difficult. You know, it's going to be very difficult. But if we could get some form of success for that moment for everyone, it'd be brilliant. It'd be really special. So let's try our best. Try our best. Yeah,
exactly.
Picturesque. Yeah, I'm getting mugged off, Seb.
What, in the fantasy league?
Yeah, man. Waking up this morning, that Dominic Calvert-Lewin exclamation mark.
He does no research, Seb. He's an amateur.
There's all sorts of research now. There's podcasts. There's all sorts of web articles.
He starts having a go at me. He starts having a go at me that I know stuff.
Yeah.
He's like, well, how do you know Tsimikas? I said, Jules, it's not hard. Robertson's been injured all pre-season.
Putting players out of nowhere.
He's going to be injured, and Tsimikas has been playing left back for Liverpool all pre-season. So having him in at 4 million, Seb, and he got 17 points in the first 2 weeks, done.
They all laugh at me though, Seb.
Yeah.
Conor Gallagher's a game changer, Seb.
Next week, Conor Gallagher's going in.
I'll tell you what, that right back for Southampton looked decent the other day.
Yeah, he's in my
one from
team.
Chelsea.
Livermore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, got him.
Yeah, of course I've got him, mate.
Yeah, no shit.
Of course I've got him. I've got him, mate. Do you know what, Jake Gray made me laugh. What did he say the other day? What did he say? He was talking to you about fantasy, and that was it. I'd made my subs, and I was taking like Lukaku in for Salah, and then Jake said about he's taking someone out for Grealish and someone in for Mahrez, and Jules went, I'm putting in Conor Gallagher.
They all laugh at me.
Conor Gallagher.
They was all laughing at me last week when I put Mopé in.
Bear in mind, he's like 85
scored.
points behind us already, and he
Dele Alli, they all laughed at me. They all laughed at me. Bang, scored against Wolves. No one.
Conor Gallagher.
At me, mate. If I just sort my captain pick out.
Seb, should we just have a little look at the league? The Hampton League.
The Hampton League, yeah.
Because you just want to get that on a.
You might have to scroll down quite
one sec, we'll just scroll all. Who's top? Oh,
yeah, but it's 2 games in.
Dean Inman. Well, one sec. You might be about 10 minutes time just trying to scroll down.
Who's top of the Premier League at the moment?
There he is.
There he is.
20 seconds.
There's still the Sam Deadfields. Joe Ollie's on there.
Who's top of the Premier League at the moment? West Ham? Are they going to win the Premier League? It's a marathon, not a sprint and all that.
Oh,
it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Brilliant. Seb, honestly, my weeks at work on my lunch break are just consumed with doing research for fantasy football. It's like, my missus says to me, like, you need to grow up. Like, I'm like, she's like, you're getting angry because someone hasn't passed someone the ball to score and you ain't got any points. I'm like, well, it is like, when you actually break it down, it's so stupid, isn't it?
Do you know what,
It's the best thing ever.
It's more than the Nando. Like, we've had a little bit about the Nandos. It ain't really. it's the beating him. I don't care if Jake beats me. I just have to beat him. I have to beat him. That's it. That's all I care about. Picturesque.
Dean, you do score quite a lot in training though.
Training.
Brilliant on the training ground.
Well, I've only played against Jules twice and scored against him twice, so I might have to move clubs and come back.
Were you shown the car then when you had to do that?
No, we played against each other.
First time, I didn't know him, to be fair. And I should have saved it, actually. I remember the goal, I should have saved it. But the second one, I had him every day for about a week, going on about it. And do you know that goal he scored a couple of years ago when he ran the length of the pitch and scored?
Yeah. Hungerford at home.
Everyone knew about that and all.
Yeah.
Crikey. See the goal I scored today, boys? Get a clean sheet, didn't I? No, but I scored.
Well, we won 7-2.
Well, 7-2. You know what I mean?
So, but Jules, you like you said, you've been doing this, 20 years now, football?
Yeah, since I left school, so 22 years, mate.
So your match day routine before you even get in the car, is it all still the same? Are you eating the same stuff, or does it change as you get older?
It's changed a little bit as I've got older, but I've done the same thing now for probably about 7-8 years, Porridge with blueberries in the morning. But to be fair, my Thursday night, Friday night and Saturday before game food is actually the same.
Oh really?
Yeah. From Thursday all the way to after the game's the same, and then after the game, well, this week I won't because we've got a game Monday, but normally after the game on a Saturday to Saturday week, when we play Saturday and don't have a game for another Saturday, then I'll have whatever I want.
Yeah, we went and got pizza, didn't we?
24 hours.
That was good.
So when I got pizza the other week, but I think as well, when you're younger, you get away with it a little bit more. At my age now, if I ate what I wanted to eat, it wouldn't help. So
when you started out, I was 8.
So yeah, all right. See, I think someone asked in the group for you, Seb, actually the other day for photos.
Black and white,
if I could do it in black and white, I was going to comment saying they do it in black and white. But yeah, the same food, salmon and vegetables Friday, chicken and vegetables. Salmon and vegetables Thursday. Some pasta as well on a Thursday. And then a Friday's chicken and vegetables for dinner. Saturday morning, porridge and blueberries. Another little bit of chicken and vegetables, and then a little energy bar before the game or something. Plenty of water. Boring, really, mate.
Yeah. And then, but I've noticed Dean's been on the Lucozade and the sweets.
He's got a funny pre-match routine.
Yeah, to be fair,
different to me. Yeah.
I have a whole bag of sweets and a litre of orange Lucozade. Do you know what?
Whatever works.
It works, though, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It come about. Like, I remember, I never used to do it, but the year that I was at Maidenhead and I won the league, I just found myself the first couple of games I stopped at the shop, got a Lucozade and got a bag of sweets, and then we just kept winning, so I just kept doing it, and now I've just done it ever since. But yeah, it seems to work. Like Friday night, I don't have the, like Jules is very strict, but I've always I have different stuff every week. Like I've never been one to kind of like religiously have the same kind of food pre-match.
Talking of superstitions, either of you have any superstitions?
To be fair, we might have to do Newcastle away for me to tell you about all mine, Seb, to be fair. I've got quite a few. Yeah, I've got quite a few.
Bouncing the ball in a changing room.
Things. Yeah, I'm quite OCD. If that's a superstition or I'm OCD in my life, I don't know if OCD and superstitions are related, but I feel like they are. So before a game, I'll get in, I'll put my gloves in a certain position, my chewing gums, my energy bar, my Lucozade drink, my water, my football, all in the same pattern every single week.
Blimey.
My boots, everything's like very much in the same pattern every game.
Goalkeepers are a strange bunch, aren't they?
Yeah, like it's very, honestly, Seb, like my routine before kick-off is religious. It's religious. To be fair, it's the same. It's exactly the same with food, what I do, my warm-up. Well, yeah, it's very, very similar every week. Yeah.
Well, I am allowed in the dressing room today, so I'll get a little bit of that. Yeah,
you'll see.
So I'm left foot first with everything. It's I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I'll put my left sock on, then my right sock on, my left boot, then my right boot, then I'll do my left shin pad with the under wrap, then my right. I don't know why. I've always just done left foot first.
So they say goalkeepers are weird. I don't know why.
Wow.
You said you've got to be mad, yeah.
I've spent a fair bit of time
proving that now. In this little bit,
No, but football is very superstitious, and not just the players. I mean,
well, I saw this
as fans, I'll often.
People have tried to sort of change that with me, like, oh no, it's it's a mental weakness if you do that, you know. And for me, Seb, if I've done my bits throughout the week, that sets me in a good place
physically,
mentally. My confidence is there, you know. If I get in and just chuck my gloves on the floor and my boots all over the place, I won't feel right. For whatever reason, I just won't feel right. So if I know I've put all them things in the right, it sounds daft, but if I put all those things in the right place, you know, I'm sure football fans wear their lucky pants, you know what I mean? Things like that, innit? Little things like that that you do that you think help, whether it does or not, who knows, but it helps me mentally. And if I'm mentally right, come 3 o'clock, then that's
I think you've just got to let players do it, haven't you? Like, we've been like, Jake Robinson has to be last at the changing room, and like some players have to be first at the changing room, and some people don't put their shirt on until they're in the tunnel, and there's loads. Honestly, you could be here all day talking about everyone's like weird little superstitions, but it works for them. And
exactly. That sets you in a good place.
But it'll be interesting if you had 2 players that had to be last at the changing room. What do they do then?
I think like, you know, confidence and the mental side of football for me is actually more important than the physical side of it. If you're not mentally right, and I've been there in my career, you know, where for whatever reason you're not confident and stuff. So if putting your boots on second, first, going out last, whatever, just sets your confidence right, then good luck to you. No problem.
And is the awareness of that side of the game being much more important now than it used to be?
Yeah, I think so.
Not just in the game, in life, really. Everyone.
Yeah, in life, definitely. Seb, I totally agree. I mean, when we again going back a few years now, but when I was coming up, you had no psychologists, and it was all practice, play, physical stuff. Get in the gym,
go down the pub.
You know what I mean? It was just all that. Whereas now, I think the mental side of the game's really come along. I think I noticed in the Euros, the England players had sessions. I don't know what they were called, the right word for it, but mentality sessions,
meditation and all that,
or whatever
stuff,
it was. Throughout the weeks leading up to games and stuff. So I mean, if it's good enough for them, then
And you can see, like, even like physically, to look at footballers now to like back in the day, you can see everyone's much more trim and in shape, and there's a lot. It's come on so much,
doesn't it? Yeah, everything evolves, and football's no different.
And that's why, like, even at like these levels, Seb, like probably back in the day, you probably just have like big fat geezers just absolutely booming it down the channels. But now you look at the players and like teams are trying to play like Dawkins, and they tried to play out so many different philosophies.
I think we was obviously touching on the mental side of it, but the physical side, the intensity of football now, I think is so much more. You know, I'll go around and see my granddad tomorrow, and he'll say, "Oh, you footballers whining about playing 2 games in a week. We used to do that." But you know, the speed and the intensity of the game today is, in my opinion, is far greater than.
And even at this level, like you know, the 6th tier of we're in the 6th stage of English football.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
It goes down, doesn't it? And well, there's some full-time teams in this league as well, so you can't be full-time and not be fit and not have the ability.
No, exactly that, mate. Yeah. Picturesque.
So as you get closer to the, you know, it's 12:30 now, the game's in 2.5 hours, you've had your food, you know, you've been thinking about it. Do you start to get nervous, or is it something that you maybe used to done back in the, you know, when you were a bit younger?
Do you know what, Seb? I always get nervous, to be fair. Always get nervous, and believe it or not, the most nerves I get throughout the season is for pre-season games. And people are obviously like, why? Like, they're the ones that sort of don't necessarily mean the most. I think like, the only way I can relate it is like, if you go on a plane once a month, you get used to it. If you go on a plane once every 5 years, you'll get nervous when you go on the plane. And I think pre-season games, you haven't played for a while, so you get a little bit nervous about them. That's just me. Other players might get a little bit more nervous for a bigger game, a game that means more. I always get a little bit nervous, but just a little bit, just enough to give me that
edge. A little butterfly feeling.
I mean, if I wasn't nervous, I'd sort of start thinking, what's up? Like, what's wrong? Do you know what I mean? I don't think that'll ever leave me, because you've got your own standards and your own what you want to reach, what you want to achieve in a day, really.
See, mine's before, just when we sat around, gaffers talking, I start thinking about like jobs in the game, and you get that little butterfly feeling. But as soon as I'm out warming up and I've touched the ball, it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm fine.
So there's no one at the Beavers being sick in the toilet before the game and stuff like that?
No.
I've been there and done it, not at Hampton.
No.
Like I say, back years ago. Like that was me once, but you learn, don't you?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
What game was that for?
Julian, I played for Julian.
For what Oh really?
Yeah, every week, mate.
But George, you've obviously played at Wembley as well. You must have been nervous before that.
Do you know what? Right. So the morning I woke up, I was shaking. Like I was fine the night before. I had a good night's sleep. Woke up in the morning and I was shaking because obviously there's nearly 60,000 people there. First competitive game at Wembley. That was a dream come true. It's something you wanted to do all your life, to play at Wembley. So when I say about pre-season friendly, that morning I woke up, very nervous. My room partner Ronnie Emery, we were going down for breakfast. I said, Ron, just give me a minute. I'll meet you down there in a minute. I've got to make a phone call. Didn't tell him how I was feeling, and I just sort of laid on the bed. And I remember just thinking to myself, like, get yourself together here. Like, this is what you've wanted to do your whole life. Don't sort of ruin it by being, just chill. And I laid there, looked at the ceiling, just a few deep breaths, just gather my thoughts, and something just come over me, and I just felt really relaxed after that, and really enjoyed the day, man. Just like, of course, when we walked out of the tunnel I was nervous, but it was back to normal. Yeah. It was back to the normal feelings that I have like I'll have today. Exactly the same. But the morning, crikey, I was shaking. Yeah. But what a day! Yeah, what a day that was. A good day.
And to win at Wembley as well, that obviously makes it a bit better.
And again, back to them, what we spoke about, they're moments that when that full-time whistle goes, that feeling you'll never forget that. I want some of these boys to have that moment this year, whether it's a cup run, an FA trophy, a promotion, a player, whatever. That moment, where the final whistle goes. I'm repeating myself now, but it's what football's all about.
Yeah.
It's all about.
You don't get many highs in football. You have more lows than you do highs.
100%.
You've got to fully enjoy it, because when you get a high in football, you have deserved it.
Yeah.
Like if you get
the table doesn't lie.
If you get promoted out of a football league into the league above, it's been over 40 odd games. You've deserved to be there. You've worked all season, and they're long seasons. So you know what it's like. Like we touch on going to work every day, getting up early. The amount of kind of sacrifices you've made to get there at the end of the year, you've just got to be able to fully enjoy it.
Yeah, and again, that's the thing that some people are, I speak to a lot of people in football, they're very familiar with what happens up the levels, but like you said, Dean, you get, you might play Bath City away and you get in at 2:30 and you're back at work at half 5. You make a lot, and like Jules said, preparation and stuff, you're not, at Christmas you're making sacrifices and stuff, and obviously you guys do get paid, but obviously it's very easy to do that if you're getting paid a lot more money.
I mean, I've been lucky enough to play Football League, and everything's taken care of you for you. Do you know what I mean? You've got no work to worry about. Everything's done. Whereas at this level, like Dino says, we're up for work. I've got a game in 48 hours, but I've got to go to work. When you're in the Football League, you'll be in to see the physios, getting recovery sessions, whatever. You know what I mean? Everything's geared up for the football. Whereas at this level, it's not. You've got your job away from here, which for me makes it harder. You know what I mean? It makes it harder. People keep saying, like, how much longer can I play for? Obviously 38 now, and it'd be lovely to wake up the next day and not go out to work, and go and have a recovery session with physios, etc., to look after my body, but that can't be done. I have to go to work. But that's just the way it is. Should have been better. I'd have played harder for a few more years, but you learn.
No, but then you have both accomplished things, and do you look back? I know Jules, you're a bit further on than Dean. I know Dean, let's say that, but you must look back and think, oh well, you know what, I've done all right. Like I said, I played at Wembley, got promoted. Must make it feel.
Yeah, in one hand, I'm quite. Listen, if someone would have grabbed me as an 8, 9, 10-year-old boy and said I'd have had the career I was going to have, I'd have been over the moon with that. But in the other hand, Seb, I do feel I could have done more. Throughout times in my career, I felt I could have dealt with things better mentally. To be fair, I think I'm quite strong mentally now, but I wasn't before. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's where I failed really, in terms of going even higher. Didn't really grasp the mental side of it. But listen, hindsight's a wonderful thing. When you get older, you learn, and
like you said,
I can pass it on to younger ones now.
Like we touched on earlier, that's all done at the clubs now, and that's how the games come on. They'll have psychologists in football now to help young players be able to deal with whether it's the amount of money they've got, especially now with like the mental health awareness, it's so rife at the minute. There's a lot more help now for people to be able to deal with things than there was back in like when you were playing.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
I'd like to have gone higher and whatever, but like I said, I think my reason for not getting there, I truly believe I was good enough. I truly believe that. Other people might have different opinions, but I just think mentally I wasn't good enough mentally, and my form obviously suffered because of my fears of making a mistake, my fears of what supporters thought about me, my fears of what managers thought about me, people watching scouts, and what are they? As you get older, you realise none of that. You can't control any of that. You can't. And it's not a careless. It's not a carelessness about it, but it's just well, I can't affect that. I need to only focus on what I can affect, and I've actually got a lot better at doing that now.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, it's too late now. Well, I say too late. It's not. No,
exactly.
I'm still playing. Do you know what I mean? I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. So.
Oh, we're just pulling in, aren't we?
Definitely not too late, but there we go. Not far.
Yeah, not far now.
So, but yeah, you learn, and like I said, I can pass it on to my son, who's a goalkeeper, and other young lads, and hope can help them. Picturesque.
You get there, you see the first. Yeah.
Here we are.
Only Harry Kane has scored more Premier League goals in 2001 than 2021 than Man City's Gundogan. It's mad, right?
Picturesque.
You get there, you see the first carrier.
Here we go.
Save. Gundogan almost scores a second header. The German wheels into a dangerous position in the box to connect with a cross from Cancelo. Nino reacts to make the stop before holding clears ahead of it.
That's Mark, isn't it? Our partner's doing.
Yeah.
Come on.
Here we go. Oh, Trace.
What size of t-shirt do you want to warm up? That's the only one there is. There's only one.
This is how I.
Large?
I've got my own. I'm good with that. Thank you, Dave. Yeah, this is how I roll, sir.
Do you always have to have the corner as well, do you? Or is that just...
When they set it up, it always goes like 1, 2, 3. So you are generally really stuck in the corner. I saw it before the season. Obviously, we won the first game.
It's about imposing ourselves on the game, and it's about us making sure that we get the game by the scruff of the neck. You know, we've got a motive this year, and we've got an identity this year, and we can't disappoint with that. Team today will be Jules in goal. Right back will be Sam Cox. Left back will be Carmen Farrell. 2 central defenders will be Dean Inman and Charlie Wassemer.
Hamza, too wide. Pass it out. Too wide. Thank you. Yes, what's up? Back foot. Good, yes, mate. Good. Yes, what's up? Good. Yes, Dave.
Come down.
Come on, boys, come on.
Come on, mate, come on.
Come on, Coxie.
Come on, boys. Come around the park, yeah? Nice and tight.
Energy. Blue top. Come on. Let's get it. Come on. Let's
Yes, Marie, come on. Yes, Jake. Come on. Yes,
Chaz, your time now. Chaz, yours, yes?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm going to, yeah.
What's going on? I need to get warm. Let's go.
Chaz.
If it's his Achilles, then that's what 4-5 at least 5. What's going on there?
Where?
Still playing.
He might be playing again this season. No. Is he walking though?
Yeah, he's walking. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. My guy has done his Achilles.
But I heard something. It was like as soon as it, like a proper, but like I felt it as well, like
Yeah.
and it just like shot up.
Yeah, that's what Mark said when he came over. He said straight away, it was like, come straight up.
Yeah, like a balloon.
Old school ice, that's the old school ice pack, that.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you even touch the ball?
Do you know what I said to Mark on the way in? with football, like I always like to fill myself into a game, like win a first header or play a first pass, just to get it out of the way. And balls come over from centre on the header, and then I've got the ball, played it down the line, won a throw in, and that's where it come from.
That's it.
Was it 4 minutes?
And like you said, you knew straight away that was.
Yeah.
Lord.
Deeper, Cads Ninja! That's a great knock.
Kyron, what a ball, Kyron! Kyron, well done! A lucky chance! Jay! Stay away, Cads! Get out of here!
What a knock. Oh, he's got up too early. He's got up too early.
Coley!
What? Go on, Loss.
Jules, go! Coley!
Come on, Jules.
Jay, lock in! Lock in!
Got to beat the front, people. Got to beat the front.
Don't let them out!
Take that out just for a second, take that away from you. Second half, proud of you all. Second half, first half, fair enough, we talked about that. Second half, proud of you all. We could have gone under, we showed some we could have come out the same. See that, just keep following them.
Who's driving out?
Yeah.
I'll tell you one positive though, as I drive an automatic and it's my left foot that's gone. I thought I wouldn't be able to drive.
Well, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
So here we are on the way back, just gone over the bridge at Dartford. It was a disappointing day all round, really, not just result-wise, but yeah, Dean, there's some crutches next to me here. What happened?
Well, the throw-ins come in, got cleared. I'm in front of the striker. Kyron's headed the ball back, and as I'm just shuffling to get back round, like there was an uneven bit of the pitch, and my ankle's just gone underneath me, and I felt it go straight away. And I've said to Wazza, like, my ankle's gone. And I was just rolling around, punching the ground in agony. And then Mark said, "You're right to play on." Then he's looked down at my ankle and went, "Get the sub done," because it was just like ballooning up straight away.
So yeah, it was obvious quite early on that it was a serious one, wasn't it, Jules? Because Dean doesn't stay down for long.
Fairy, I thought he was going to like, get back up. No, he don't. To be fair, I played a lot of games with him, as I said, on the way here, and when he went down like that, I sort of said to Charlie, I said, because I didn't see what happened, he just went down. I thought someone kicked him off the ball or something. But yeah, I sort of thought to myself, he's struggling. We're going to have to make an early change, which disrupts you, doesn't it? You know what I mean? If you have to make a change down the spine of your team in the third or the fourth minute, whatever it was. But no excuse. I mean, we weren't good enough first half today, and that's why I've lost the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I know we came back strongly in the second half, but Dean, you made a good point earlier on about even though you went off injured, and it's completely accidental, you're still in your mind where you sat there and dressing room on your own thinking, have I changed the course of the game here because of of just a freak accident, really?
Yeah, I always think that, like, if I stay on the pitch, the whole game's different. It's probably like a silly thought. I do it with football, because if I'm at a pub watching the football, I always think, and my team loses, I think if I watched it at home, the whole day would have been different and the result would have been different. But yeah, it's just one of them thoughts where, like, it's horrible, because I was just sat in the change room and you can hear the cheers of the crowd, and you kind of know that the other team has scored, and like, boys coming at half time to them down, but we give it a good go in the second half, but ran into a keeper that was on the top of his game.
Yeah, Jules, to be fair, Jules, you made some good saves as well, as unfortunately conceding twice in the first half, so it could have been all over by half time, and we got ourselves back in it, and it's disappointing not to just get that equaliser, wasn't it? Because we did have the chances.
Well, that's it. As a keeper, you can't affect us scoring goals. Do you know what I mean? You can't really do that, but you'd like, and you try to sort of make an impact where if I can keep the score down, it keeps us in the game. And I tried my best to do that first half, and I felt if it went to 3-0, it's game over. And 2-0, if we get an early goal in the second half, then it's game on. And so be it, that happened. And we had the chances second half. We definitely had chances, but you can't start a game of football like that and give yourself mountains to climb, because you're not going to win many games of football if you do that. But we got to learn from that now. There's 2 games we've gone and we haven't started well. So Monday we need to start well and be on the front foot and come out of the blocks firing on Monday, because we can't start like that again.
Yeah, exactly. And do you feel the pressure, a little bit of pressure already? Because obviously two defeats out of 3, which, and again, the fine margins could have been 7 points, could have been 9 points. So it's not like we haven't, had the chances. But yeah, that does put a lot of pressure on already at this early stage of the season. If we want to do what we want to do, what we were talking about on the way here.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, yeah, if you want to do what what we're talking about, then you can't afford to really give away too many points. It's frustrating, because I honestly feel that we should be sitting here on 7 points, 5 points maybe, 2 draws and a win, but the fact of the matter is we're not. So we've got to make sure we're on it Monday and have a response. Do you know what I mean? That's what good teams do.
Dean, you've got a slightly less exciting Sunday to look forward to. It looks like you're going to have obviously an X-ray. That must be really frustrating for you. Just like you said, we were talking about preparation, and we were on the way here, and 4 minutes in, it looks like you've got quite a serious knock.
Yeah, Mark wants me to go and get an X-ray tomorrow, just to kind of rule out any breaks or bone damage. Like I said to Mark, I felt and heard something go underneath me as I've got down on it. And I said, it's one of them where I don't know the extent of the swelling's too, like the pain at the minute is of swelling, so you won't really be able to assess it until that goes down.
Yeah, exactly. And then so it's I suppose in one sense the fact there's a game so soon, it gives us a chance to try and right the wrongs and get back on track. And Gary mentioned his post-match interview. I suppose no better time to do that than at home at the Bev on Monday, really.
Yeah, looking forward to it. To be fair, like defeats do hurt. Do you know what I mean? They do, but you want to get back out there as quick as possible. And we've got Monday, so you know, disappointing. Last year, I think it was on 1 point after 3 games. Do you know what I mean? So it's disappointing, but long way to go, and let's hope we can get a result Monday and it kickstarts us. Do you know what I mean? Because we started the season great with a 5-0 win, and everyone was on cloud 9, and we've been brought back down to earth firmly with a bang now after 2 defeats. You know what I mean? So got to roll our sleeves up and have a go Monday, and like I say, hopefully get a positive result and get on track to where we want to be.
Yeah, exactly. Sounds like a very good, exactly the right place to end. And thanks very much for sharing the journey with Dean and Jules. The fact that Dean sat here with some crutches behind him probably suggests that I might not be invited back.
Anytime. Listen, when we win, we'll have the beers in the car and all sorts.
No, exactly. Yeah.
We'll have you out the sunroof celebrating.
Yeah, that is football, though, isn't it? The highs and lows of football. You mentioned it earlier on. The highs and lows of football, and whatever preparation you can do, unforeseen things can happen, and you don't do what you hope to do, and this is the way it is. It's the beauty of football, I suppose. So we're going to get back to listen to the second half of Liverpool and Chelsea, and Dean and Jules will carry on talking about their fantasy league, which has kept them very busy. And apart from that, thanks very much, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.